Sligo went into their historic Champions League game with Molde of Norway with several injury problems, missing the likes of Danny North, Aaron Green, Raf Kataro and Danny Tripp. Lest they created problems for the Norwegians, and an almighty scramble in the area could have led to the opener, but the Molde keeper, Oren Highland, more than happy to grasp hold of the ball. Molde's Nigerian striker Daniel Shemia caused problems all evening for the Sligo backline, and he showed some great skill to get to a scoring position. Pity was the finish didn't match that skill. Sligo's defence led a charmed life at times in the first half. Molde captain Daniel Berg-Hedstad hooked the ball forward to Adio Colley, but Gary Rogers saved well for the man from Senegal. The Molde pressure continued to grow, and from a corner the ball fell kindly for Chimia, who took his time. Rogers saved, but the Molde striker made a mess of the second opportunity. Sligo were searching for only their second ever victory in European competition, and they gifted Molde another chance when Evan McMillan made a mistake to let in Chimia, who found Joe Ingeberge, whose shot hit the post. The Molde pressure eventually yielded a goal though on 42 minutes as Evan McMillan failed to clear a long punt. Chimia latched onto it and showed good strength to hold off Gavin Pearce before sending a shot past Rogers to open the scoring for the Norwegian side. Sligo's defensive frailties continued. Just before the break, another mix-up. This time Rogers happy to see the ricochet bounce wide. There was a bit more about Sligo after the restart, after the concession of the late goal in the first half. Joseph Endo showed some of Molde's defensive frailties when he robbed Matthias Matstrom of possession, but he dragged his shot wide. The Belgian referee then waved away claims for a Sligo penalty on 75 minutes when Anthony Elding tumbled in the area. Substitute Kieran Jalali then spurned a great opportunity to level the tie 10 minutes from the end. Alan Keane's header was blocked. Elding set up Jalali in space, but he failed to keep his effort down, and the ball soared high into the stands. Late on, a ball into the Molde area caused even more problems for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side as Highland flapped at the ball. Keane and Jalali worked in tandem, but they couldn't fashion a goal, and the ball was eventually cleared. Sligo Rovers manager Ian Barraclough insists that his side are still in with a good chance of progressing despite the 1-0 first leg loss to Molde at the showgrounds.
Once we'd conceded the goal, it was important we didn't concede again. We could have gone for it a lot more maybe, but it left ourselves wide open, and I think that'll allow us to go and be a bit more proactive second leg. It's all to play for still.
I think first half today was a very, very good half from our side. I think we could have scored 2 or 3 more. We had some great sides at goal, but we missed, unfortunately. But we've still got to go at home and play, have a good performance at home, not concede any goals, and that's the name of the game for us now.
So Sligo Rovers face a tough away leg in Molde tomorrow evening. Alan, 1-0 was the scoreline on the night. Was that a fair reflection of what happened?
Overall, you would probably have to say, Peter, the Sligo Rovers were probably lucky not to be 2 or 3 down, in fairness. We've seen some of the clips there, you know, in the first half in particular. They really were kind of, they played into the hands of Molde almost and gifting them real chances. Yeah. Like a Molde didn't really have to carve out a great deal or anything from really good play. It came from a lot of mistakes, but overall you would have to say, at 1-0, they're probably happy to going out to Norway. Ian Barraclough alluded to it there in his interview that he will be happy. Gary Rogers, he pulled off a couple of great saves in the first half. There was another mistake after that where the lad hit the post. So, and Solskjaer alluded to himself. He was saying they probably should have scored a couple more. So I think Ian Barraclough would probably be delighted just to get out of it 1-0. The second half in particular, they huffed and puffed, and they had a bit more of a go, because the first half I thought the occasion may have got to them a little bit. The second half they rallied a bit, they came out and they were really in the ascendancy, and there was a key moment in the game when he brought on Jalali around about the hour mark. And I really felt as though that was the time. They were in the ascendancy, they had all the momentum, but he replaced them for David McMillan, who was playing wide right. And I really felt he should have put McMillan up front and maybe taken off Keneally, one of the 3 centre midfielder players, and really had a go at it, because there was a huge crowd on the night. It was a great occasion, and really give them something to cheer about and something to go for. And he didn't do that, and I felt he was just maybe a little bit too cautious on the night. Yeah, but we did hear Ian Barraclough there in his interview, Dave, refer to the fact that having conceded one, he didn't want to concede another. So that would suggest he was erring on the side of caution, all right.
Peter, I suppose with Ian going into that job, it's the first time in Europe, managing in Europe. It's a new experience for him. You know, it's difficult. I've been there myself, and when you're playing against this quality, you don't want to leave yourself open, no matter where you are. Like, it looked like, as Alan was saying there, that they were creating chances, they were on top of the game, and you feel that if you do change it, if you take a midfield player, especially a midfield player out, go two in the middle of the park, you could lose that momentum. So, you know, it's 50-50. I think when you don't score, like, they had a couple of half chances. And in Europe, you don't get too many clear chances. But, like, you know, he was hoping probably to get the goal back. And if he did that, you know, he's a genius.
That's the manager speaking there, so there's Peter.
Yeah.
I can totally see the two sides of the argument. And the first half in particular, I have no problem with him being cautious because he is going into the unknown a little. Yeah. He doesn't know what to expect. As Dave said, it's his first game in Europe, a big occasion. I have no problem with that. But if I was actually at the game and there was so much in the ascendancy in the second half that Molde basically retreated back to the edge of their 18-yard box, and he really had a chance, I felt, because Jalali made a real difference, and I thought if he put McMillan up front with Elding, had a real go, they may have got a bit more out of the game. But
of course there always is the risk, Dave, if you do go two up front, that you leave yourself a little bit more open in midfield.
It's a massive I remember I was playing, we were in Sweden, and I played one up front, and actually I changed it, I went 4-4-2 because they were coming out too easy. When you play one up front, they're full backs, and some of their centre backs are just strolling into midfield with the ball. And at times you have to make a decision on the line to say, look, they're getting out too easy. We have to play two up front and stop them coming out. And you play two centre forwards that would work the full backs, you know, and work their back four. So, you know, I know where Alan's coming from, but if the second goal went in, the tie was over.
Yeah.
You know,
and one thing though, I mean, they're still with the chance at 1-0, although it's still a difficult lead to overhaul, because if they get one goal at home, well, Sligo are in trouble. But one thing they will have to get out of the game tomorrow night is they have to get those defensive lapses out. Yeah,
you can see here, there's a couple of clips. Evan McMillan in particular, I don't really want to be picking on him because I'm actually a fan of Evan, but Evan really had a terrible first half. You can see here, like, that's really sloppy. And at League of Ireland level, you would get punished, never mind Champions League level, Peter. And you can see here the lad, he should have scored, and that would have been 2-0 on the night. But Evan in particular, and then, of course, the goal came not long after that, so it was kind of building up, and then eventually, I hate to say it, but he was at fault for the goal as well. And really, it was just a long, kind of hopeful punt. We'll see it now ourselves in a moment. But on the night, like, you know, you really have to defend better, especially in Europe. Like, here it is, here the left full. It's just a long, hopeful punt. He's running back, facing his own goals. His body shape is all wrong. In particular, he tries almost the impossible in trying to hook the ball over his shoulder, whereas he could have actually, the fact that he was facing his own goal, he could have maybe played it out for a corner or else out for a throw-in. And to compound matters, then when he does slip, of course it goes to the lad, I think his name was Chowla up front. He was excellent on the night, he was a real danger, and he goes round Piers, who also slips and puts it in the corner. So Evan in particular, now I don't really want to be picking on him, but he had a bad night.
You have to say, Alan, I suppose, like, Ian, it's his first time in Europe. I think that's Evan's probably first time in Europe. He's been outstanding. I'm looking at his defending there, and I've never seen him do that over the last
how different
4 years.
is the European experience for a young player?
Like, you look at the crowd, and fair dues to the Sligo public. You know, I think they probably would have gotten another 3,000 into that, you know, if they had the seating arrangements. But big games, they're, you know, Champions League, you're going out, you're saying, you know, I want to play well. The tension, the whole thing, and it's very hard. You have to, like, you know, I read a quote that, you know, you have to play as if there's nothing to lose, where there's everything to lose.
Yeah.
You know, there's everything to lose in this for him, and unfortunately, he defends a lot.
The positive to come out of it is, well, he will definitely learn from the experience, and that's the thing. Champions League level, Peter, you're coming up against the quality, like, and that lad up front, he would have caused problems to most defenders around. He was excellent on the night, and he was the real danger man. And in particular, going into the second leg tomorrow night, he's one that really will have to watch. But he will learn from the experience. Evan, he's only young, and he's one of the best, in my opinion, he's one of the best defenders around in the league. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, so
and he will learn from the experience.
Yeah, 1-0 it finished at the